Sometimes it's easy to feel like you're paralyzed, unable to decide your direction or control your circumstances. But honestly, stuckness is usually just a misinterpretation of reality. You have to ask, are you actually trapped? Or are you just terrified of taking a risk? While some situations truly are out of our hands, most stuck feelings can be broken by a single leap of faith. As humans, we have a hardwired fear of letting people down, being judged, or failing publicly. It's scary. But I've realized something crucial lately. Nobody actually cares. Let me tell a story to illustrate this. In high school, I was in an engineering program, not because I loved it, but because my parents wanted me to be an engineer. I spent 4 years studying topics I didn't enjoy. I didn't even know how to think for myself back then, so I just followed the path of least resistance. When college came, I stayed the course. I moved to a new city, lived without many friends, and suffered through a freshman semester of engineering that I absolutely hated. Eventually, I reached a breaking point. The idea of quitting was previously unthinkable. I'd accepted it as the only logical path. But I realized it wasn't my logic, it was an idea ingrained by years of my parents saying engineers make good money. One day I woke up and realized, I don't have to do this. I told my parents I was switching to marketing. In my head, I felt like I was throwing away a prestigious degree for a business path that people warned would lead to failure or even homelessness. I expected a massive fallout. When I told them, they weren't visibly angry, but I could feel the disappointment and doubt. They asked if I could even find a job or if it paid well. Their skepticism made me doubt myself again. I wondered if I should crawl back to the practical safety of engineering. But I realized that wasn't my voice. It was me interpreting their desires. I stuck with my decision. And over time, I noticed something fascinating. My parents stopped caring. Within 2 months of realizing I wasn't changing my mind, they just moved on. They might have harbored some internal disappointment, but life continued. Today, I work in marketing, and I'm far more successful than I ever would have been as a miserable engineer. When I say people don't care, I don't mean you don't matter to them. I mean that your life decisions truly only matter to you. In the grand scheme, people are focused on their own lives. They don't hold 20-year grudges over your career choices. Humans live naturally selfish existences. Whether that's good or bad is a different debate, but it's undeniable that everyone is the protagonist of their own story. So why do you care so much about what they think? If parents can get over a major life disagreement in a few months, imagine how quickly a random acquaintance will forget your embarrassing choices. People often give advice for selfish reasons without even knowing it. If you want to move to a new city, friends might call it a mistake or a waste. Often, they just don't want to lose your proximity. If a partner tells you not to take a job because of a long commute, they might just want you home more for their own comfort. Even my parents wanting me to be an engineer likely stemmed from wanting parental clout. The ability to tell their friends their kid is an engineer. They didn't actually care about the daily reality of me sitting in an office crunching logistics numbers. They cared about the image. We are often held captive by the projections of others, rather than their actual concern for our daily happiness. You have to learn to filter the noise and see the underlying motivations. My point is this: nobody is watching you as closely as you think. There is no reason to fear a risk because of a potential reaction. If you start a business and it fails, who will remember in 5 years? Unless you're a high-profile scammer, no one cares about your failed coffee shop or your cringe YouTube channel. People are too busy living their own lives to track your stumbles. True friends will support you anyway. If they leave because you're pursuing something bigger, they weren't meant to stay. Think about why you feel stuck. If the reason is rooted in the opinions of others, you should probably just do the thing anyway. Let's look at a final scenario to put this in perspective. Imagine yourself at 85 years old, lying on a hospital bed. You lived a mediocre life because you were afraid of judgment. You didn't move because of Joe. You didn't start that channel because you were scared of being cringe, and you didn't date the person you loved because they didn't meet your friends' standards. You suppressed your passions because being an anime fan or an artist wasn't the look. Now, imagine the 85-year-old version of you who did take the risks walks into the room. That version went for the girl, started the channel, embraced their truest self, and lived a satisfying life. How would the safe version of you feel looking at the bold version, knowing you wasted your one shot at existence? All the people you were afraid of are likely dead or gone, yet you let them dictate your entire journey. We are all going to die. That is the ultimate reality. Why put so much weight on the opinions of people who are just as temporary as you are? If you're feeling stuck, break it down. It usually stems from not doing what you truly want. So, figure out what those things are and just go for them. You might be wondering who I am and why I sound familiar. Well, I practiced exactly what I'm preaching.
I'm Robocast.
I've been making gaming videos on my main channel for 9 years. But for the last year, I've felt burnt out. I'm tired of the loud, obnoxious, trend-chasing culture that YouTube has become. I miss the old YouTube where people just talked. So I started this new project. This channel is for me, a place to share my thoughts. If you want to watch, that's great. If not, I don't really care because I'm doing this for my own fulfillment. In my opinion, failing to live up to your fullest potential is the biggest sin of all. What is the point of any of this if you don't make your life truly yours? I encourage you to do the same. Stop living for the clout of your parents or the comfort of your friends. Break out of the interpretation that you are stuck and realize that the door has been unlocked this entire time. If you enjoyed this talk, feel free to subscribe. If there are specific topics you want me to dive into, leave a comment. I might do them or I might not because again, this project is for the joy of it. Don't let the fear of being cringe or unsuccessful stop you from being real. Life is too short to be anyone else.